353, leaving us with just about 12 more days before the end of the year. Good morning and welcome to the program. Well, your regular anchor, Yori Folarin, is on vacation, fondly called Uncle Yori, and I'll be standing in for him for a while, so get used to my face. I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, welcome on board. It's difficult beginning this program without referencing perhaps the best FIFA World Cup final we saw yesterday between Argentina and France. Quite exciting to see how it all ended. Kylian Mbappe having a hat-trick, making him perhaps the second player to have done that in the FIFA World Cup. He did all he can, scoring 4 goals in that particular game, but it was Messi's World Cup to win. That Argentina lifting that trophy for the first time in 36 years is quite historic. Perhaps this is the end to the much debate online about who your real GOAT is, especially when you consider the fact that Messi might be getting an 8th Ballon d'Or. But that's the conversation for yet another day. It's been an exciting Qatar World Cup. If you're not paying attention to the heartbreaking story of how immigrants who worked to build the World Cup are suffering human rights abuse, and that's the conversation in the coming days. But we also saw an African team reaching the 3rd place, playing the 3rd place match, the first time in history. And maybe it's time for Africa to stand up and be counted. Maybe in my lifetime, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will also win the FIFA World Cup. Imagine just how glorious that would be. Now, talking about dreams for Nigeria, another dream that most Nigerians have is the ability to use public infrastructure like rail service with both of their eyes shut, knowing fully well that their lives are secure. And that's perhaps the challenge that we've had in the past days. Our attention this morning is turned to securing Nigeria, and we're focusing on train passenger safety. You heard about the train that crashed into a car recently in Abuja, and it's also no longer news that the Kaduna-Abuja rail service has resumed. That's happening some 8 months after a terrorist attack that led to deaths, injuries, and also some abductions. One of the events that really did shape the outgoing year was the attack on the Kaduna-bound train from Abuja sometime on the 28th of March this year. We were told that approximately 970 passengers were on board on that day that bandits came in on motorcycles with deadly weapons, bombing the train twice before then opening fire on passengers, according to eyewitnesses. At least 8 people reportedly died in that particular incident, including a medical doctor who tweeted. Remember that tweet was, I think her name was Megafo Chinelo. She had tweeted, "I'm in the train, I've been shot, please pray for me." And I saw that tweet and the comments online, perhaps showing how we've lost touch, how we can ensure passenger safety on the trains, also looking at security measures being put in place by the federal government aftermath that particular incident. I'm joined this morning, is joining us live from our Abuja studio, is a former spokesperson for the Nigerian Air Force, a safety and counterterrorism expert, and is also a workplace safety expert. Group Captain Sadiq Shehu is our guest on this morning. Group Captain, good morning, and thank you for finding time to join us.
Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers.
Good to hear from you this morning. I'd like us to begin with some backstories. We'll get to the workplace safety in a short while, but I'd like to also tap in on your security experience, saying that the Abuja-Kaduna train attack was perhaps one of the events that shaped the outgoing year. Authorities have said investigations point to what they call an unholy handshake between bandits and Boko Haram. You recall that the attack itself had taken place 2 days after a similar attack at the Kaduna airport, killing 2 personnel of NAMA and abducting quite a number of other people. We've seen some 2 high-profile arrests being made, the negotiator and also the police saying that they have arrested the mastermind behind it. Do you think that we know who these enemies of the state are? And how important is this information when we begin to talk about security on the rails?
Well, thank you very much. First to say, just like you highlighted, this is a matter, according to the DSS and the police, that's under investigation. So it may be possible. But, there are a lot of things. Talking of arresting mastermind or arresting negotiator, we have to, go back, see, attack happened because the perpetrators, recognize some lapses in the security, railway system as we have. I want viewers to understand that for a long time, the railway system in Nigeria the team cannot remember at least this part of the reality. I will continue to say what we didn't do was to do a security risk assessment. Modern security and safety management now desires that whatever you are going to do, is it a road, is it a bridge, is it even a personal house, is it a stadium, the security risk assessment must form part of the planning. Working with building engineers, architects, that is when you involve security. Unfortunately, in this train or railway system, as in many other aspects of our national life, we only talk about safety and security as an add-on. Well, we are reacting now. But with respect to train security, we know the railway system is being expanded. There are many expansion projects going on. So what I would like to call on the policy makers is to ensure that rather than add on now, eventually after add on now, we realize that if you put PC, it should be at the planning stage that you put in security. So to me, I would rather we work on the lesson learned from this going forward. Ensure that safety and security, and here I'm like, you hear me saying safety and security, there are two different issues. When you're thinking of bandits attacking a train, or kidnappers carry people off the train, that is the aspect of security. So when we talk about security, we are talking about deliberate acts by either criminals or other terror groups to harm the train system. Then on the other hand, safety, you are talking about something that's not deliberate, something that happens by accident.
Just a minute, Group Captain. Allow me to butt in very quickly.
Yes.
We need to take an instant commercial break. And then when we return, we'll continue with this conversation. Don't forget that you can use the hashtag ThisMorningTVC to be a part of the program and also join the Group Captain. Stay with us.
Everyone has a Chivita this season.
Within the first week of the month of December, his policy to redesign the Naira with its January 31st, 2023 deadline, and also to put a stop to the cash withdrawal limit policy of the bank, scheduled to start on the 9th of January 2023. The plotters admitted that their major challenge was that the president had fully approved the policies, but agreed that the president's approval would not deter them. They also agreed that they would not be able to get the president to bring to effect Section 11, subsection 2, sub F of the Central Bank Establishment Act, which empowers the president to remove the governor of the central bank. They had earlier tried to undermine the president by attempting to amend the CBN Act and the Currency Decimal Act overnight in the House of Representatives, but failed. While we monitored, they began to recruit people to join in their plot. They recruited allies even at the highest level of the security architecture, the legislature, and the executive arm of government of our country, and directly to coordinate the operation of undermining the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and a policy publicly known to enjoy the full support and approval of the President is the Director General of the State Security Service. Dear Nigerians, on the 7th of December 2022, just 24 hours after the CBN